Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Good morning and praise the Lord. Welcome back to another Good Morning Grief devotional. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allenucken Sr., Senior Pastor of the City of Hope Community Church, and your 2023 grief counselor, not grief counselor, your grief coach. Let me reframe that. Your grief coach. And I'm so grateful and thankful for your presence here on today, tuning in to our Good Morning Grief devotional. Yo, this is the daily grief devotional that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural and normal response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how it is expressed on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. And that's why we shout good morning, because mourning is a good thing. Do you hear me? Morning is a good thing, and I'm so grateful and thankful for your presence on today. Do me a favor. If this is a blessing to you, I promise you it's going to be a blessing to somebody else. So if you know somebody else that is mourning, that is grieving, that has experienced loss, change, or transition, pause for the cause right now. Tag them in this post. Go ahead and share this post to your page. Go ahead and expand the opportunity for other people, expand our reach so that other people can get this as well. Amen. Because if it's a blessing to you, it's going to be a blessing to them. I'm grateful and thankful to have this opportunity to lead you all in our grief devotion. Today is day 340. You know what that means? That means that we have had 340 consecutive grief devotions. 340 consecutive grief devotions. We need to do something at the end of the year. I need to do something to gather. I'm a survey y'all, get information from y'all. We need to do something, y'all, because this is unheard of, right? 340 consecutive grief devotions that we have been walking with you every single day in 2023 to help you to navigate through your grief. We should have did some pre and post surveys or something, right? But I need to know how you doing. I need to know how you feeling. I need to know how you progressing. I need to know, right? I want to know. I desire to know if you have been blessed and helped throughout 2023, right? Have you grown? Have you developed? Are you a better version of yourself? Are you making progress on your grief journey? That's the number one question right there, because slow progress is better than no progress, right? And so we just want to make sure that you are progressing along the way. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for trusting me to lead you in the most compassionate way as you navigate through this season of grief that you are going through on today. Amen. Without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and get to our devotion on today. Today's grief quote comes from Robert Brault, something, who says, optimist, someone who figures that taking a step backward after taking a step forward is not a disaster. It's a cha-cha. I love that. Optimist, someone who figures that taking a step backward after taking a step forward is not a disaster. It's a cha-cha. Today is day 340. We're going to talk about being optimist in grief. Be an optimist in grief. Let me tell you why I love this quote so much. Because oftentimes, and I've talked to you, that you have taken a step forward, 2 steps forward, 10 steps forward, and then all of a sudden you take a step backward. And we look at that as a negative thing. We'll say, man, I took a step backward. I thought I was doing good. And this is the reality. You are doing good, right? Grief is not linear. It's not a straight line. It's not one step and then you take another step and you take another step and you never take a step backwards. No, it's going to be filled with seasons where you take steps forward, then you may take a step or two backward, right? And I want you to see it not as taking a step backward. I don't want you to see it as something negative. I want you to see it as, if you're optimistic, I want you to see it as you just doing the cha-cha. Come on. When you start doing the dance, the cha-cha, you take a couple of steps forward and then you cha-cha backwards. All you doing is dancing. Grief is a dance. You hear me? Somebody put that in the chat. Grief is a dance. And when you're grieving, you're finding your rhythm. And it's in the midst of that rhythm that you take steps forward, you take step backward. You have some good days, you have some not so good days. You have some good days where you can express it outside of yourself. You have some not so good days where you suppress it and you don't want to express, right? So it is a dance. Grief is a dance. It's a cha-cha, right? It's a cha-cha. An optimist is someone who figures that taking a step backward after taking a step forward is not a disaster, it's a cha-cha. And that's what I want to tell you today. If you've taken a step backwards, right? If you quote unquote taken a step backwards, it's not a disaster, it's a dance. I love that. It's not a disaster, it's a dance. It's not a disaster, it's a dance. You are just cha-chaing with your grief. Let's get into it. Grief is often a one step forward, two steps back kind of journey. It's also a going in circles and sometimes getting lost kind of a journey. It's frustrating, but like all of life, it's also how it is. That grief, y'all, look, it can be frustrating because sometimes you'll feel like you're going in circles. Sometimes you'll feel like I'm making progress and now I digress. That I took two steps forward, I took five steps backwards, right? Sometimes it can seem frustrating as you navigate through this journey, right? But like all of life, that's just how it is. That's just the way it is. That's what you got to understand about grief, y'all. It's just the way it is, right? And as you navigate through this thing called grief, you have to have an optimistic type of look. You got to look at things in an optimistic way, not in a negative, pessimistic type of way. What's going to help you navigate through your journey is having an optimistic outlook versus a pessimistic outlook. It's not a disaster, it's a dance, right? You're not going in circles. You're really failing forward, right? And so it's all in how you look at it. It's all in how you reframe your thoughts regarding the journey and the process that you're navigating through. Here it is. We can choose to be optimists or pessimists in grief. The question is, which one are you going to choose? Are you going to be an optimist in grief or are you going to be a pessimist in grief? Are you going to have an optimistic outlook or are you going to have a pessimistic outlook, right? If you take a couple of steps backwards, are you going to say this is a disaster? Or are you going to say, this is a dance? Come on. Are you going to say, this is a disaster? Or are you going to say, oh no, I'm just dancing. I'm just dancing. When I took them two steps, I was just dancing. I'm doing the cha-cha, baby. I'm about to take a couple of more steps forward. It's all about how you choose for your outlook to be. You can choose for it to be optimistic. You can choose for it to be pessimistic, right? Optimists find ways to foster hope for the future and trust that the journey, no matter how challenging, is taking them toward healing. Trust the journey. I tell you all the time, embrace the chase, trust the process, enjoy the journey. Embrace the chase, trust the process, enjoy the journey. You have to trust that the process is taking you towards healing, right? Trust that the process is taking you towards it. It's just like when people try to lose weight. They can lose 5 pounds and then gain 2 pounds. Then they can lose 3 pounds and gain 1 pound. Then they can lose 6 pounds, right? Then they can gain 1 pound. It's a back and forth. It's not a disaster. It's a dance. It's a journey. And when you look at it in the overall scheme of things, you have to trust that the journey is taking you towards healing, right? If you are doing the work, if you are mourning outside of yourself, you got to trust that the journey, come on, is navigating you towards healing, right? You got to trust that the journey is navigating you towards healing. That's the bottom line. That you got to have an optimistic outlook. We still experience pain, absolutely. With all of this optimisticness, we still experience pain. It doesn't erase the pain, right? But it does help us to move forward on the journey. That we will still experience pain. We still get lost and angry and depressed. That's what y'all got to know and understand. When you have an optimistic outlook, you know and understand that, yo, I still gotta go through the journey. And I still may get depressed. I still may get angry. I still may feel lost. I still may take some steps backwards. But even in the midst of our necessary suffering, we try very hard to nurture the knowing that our lives can and will continue with meaning and love. In the midst of all of this necessary suffering, we trust that our lives will continue to move forward, right? With meaning and with love. Hear me out. The next time we take a step or two or three or 57 backwards, let's remember that grief is a dance. The next time you take 2 or 12 or 20 steps backwards, remember grief is a dance. And if we only keep dancing, we're doing what we need to do. My thing to you is keep dancing. Keep dancing. Find your rhythm as you navigate through this season called grief. Because if you keep dancing, you're doing what you need to do. Here's the final thought. Today, I reaffirm my intention to be an optimist in grief. Today, I reaffirm my intention to be an optimist in grief. You can't do nothing about the time you lost. The question is, what are you going to do with the time you have left? And if you have been negative or pessimistic in the past, today I reaffirm my intention to be an optimist as it relates to grief. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to understand I'm still going to get sad, still going to get depressed. I'm still going to I may be angry, but I'm going to be optimistic towards my grief. I understand that grief is a dance and is leading me towards healing. Grief is a dance and I'm cha-chaing my way, come on, towards wellness. I love that. I'm going to cha-cha my way towards wellness. I may take a few steps forward. I may take a few steps backwards, but I am cha-chaing my way towards wellness. Today, my brothers and sisters, is in fact day 340. We're talking about be an optimist in grief. Come on, questions, comments. If you got them, drop them below. One time for the one time. Talk to me. Was this lesson a blessing to you on today? Holla at your boy. Come on, holla at your boy. Hey, Nikisha. Nikisha says, these devotions have definitely helped me navigate through some things this year. I'm so grateful for you and the church family. Thank you for all that you do. I'm so grateful for you, Nikisha. Yeah, it's amazing how God connects us. Me and Nikisha, we connected. She used to be my bank lady way back in the day, right? She used to be my bank lady at the bank when I worked in a barbershop and was the manager and take the money and all this type stuff. And she was my bank lady. And then when I had my barbershop and beauty shop, she used to come in there and get her hair done, all those wonderful things. But life has a way of just reconnecting people and bringing people back together as we navigate through some of the most difficult times in our life, right? And who know way back then that God would reconnect us even now as she process and digest, the transition of her mother and just other life situations and circumstances. And so thank you for this comment and thank you for being a part of this virtual village. Appreciate you greatly. Hey, Miss Shelton, that's right. Grief is not linear. It's not a straight line. It is a dance, and we're going to cha-cha our way to wellness. Come on. We should do a class. We should sign up for a cha-cha class. We should do that as a group. And we learn how to cha-cha and say grief is like the cha-cha, right? I think that would be good. I'm going to check into that. Somebody check into that. Who going to check into that for me? Can somebody check into if they got cha-cha classes here in the city of Indianapolis? And if you are not in Indianapolis, can you check and see if they have some type of cha-cha dance inside your city? I need to talk to Maya. Does Maya know how to do the cha-cha? If she does, we gonna go to her and pay her to teach us how to do the cha-cha. Stacia, you gonna sign up for the cha-cha class if we do it? Shanika Elliott, make sure you check your text message, Shanika. Felicia Henderson, I definitely been having some bad days and definitely have been having some good days, but I tell you this devotion definitely helped me out a whole lot. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's not a disaster. It's a dance. I love it. Hey, Shirley Tempton, Wellington, grief is a dance. Had a good cry this morning. Dried my tears. Had to get up and get moving. Boy, as you said, grief, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. I'm telling you, it's just the way it is. That's right. We're going to cha-cha our way towards wellness. Thank you so much. Just told today was a blessing. Every day is different, so this was on time. I'm so glad. Thank you so very much, Miss Shirley. Stacia said, "Yes, I'll sign up." I know she knows the cha cha. But look, y'all think I'm playing? I'm for real. Y'all see if I'm gonna check. We have a dance master at our church. I'm gonna see if she knows how to do the cha cha, and if she'll teach a grief class where we're doing the cha cha. I think that would be powerful. Y'all check in your cities and see if they offer the cha cha dance. Right? I think that'll be beautiful. Look, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all with the love of the Lord. Thank y'all for tuning in. We do need to do something special towards the end of this year to come together. Um, yeah, we'll figure that thing out. If you got ideas, let me know. Inbox me, holla at your boy. But I appreciate y'all. Love y'all with the love of the Lord. Hope y'all have a wonderful Wellness Wednesday. And I look forward to seeing y'all real soon. Let's go.